So the other project we're working on, right now there's this one opening here for the battery compartment. Got two of these big ugly old batteries in there. We're going to be getting some new ones, but I'm going to pull this or cut this all out of here. This is damaged from when we blew off the fender flare anyway. So I'm going to cut this out here, and I've got these two heavy-duty steel Buyers boxes that are going to be mounted underneath right here. And I actually got two more this is a 24 by 16 by 14, and then this other one is 18 by 16 by 12, I think, so it's not as deep. And that way there's the springs and stuff are back there, so I needed to make sure I had room for that. But I'm getting two more smaller ones, one for this side here and then one for the same location on the other side. Again, this is all still torn up from when we had our little blown tires in Moab, and so I'm going to cut that out and mount a box there, and that way we'll have a nice finished thing. And then I'm going to be doing a new fender flare setup going around that, and I'll have more to that coming up soon. So I have to put the my new heater down underneath here behind the step, so figured might as well kill two birds with one stone here. I have to put my new I'm putting my new Buyers boxes in this location anyway, so I'm going ahead and cutting out the area where I'm going to be mounting the new boxes. All right, so here's the deal. Got the again got the old box cut off. It was attached up underneath here, welded right onto the understructure here of the bus, and the new boxes are going right in the same space. These were the two existing batteries that were in there. I'm gonna get new ones actually and put them in, but I've got the 24-inch box that's deeper is going to go over here because I've got much more room right here, and then the 18-inch box is going to go here, and because of with the spring and everything, it won't go as deep. So but they'll look the same size, for the same height for the exterior, and it'll give me 42 inches across. I've got my plumbing line over here, so this one's actually going to come to just right at the edge here. I may have to even tweak my line a little bit to make that work. And I've got basically what I did in the back, where this big strut is cut it off at the line here across where the top's going to go. And then again, I'm going to basically, like I did on the back, I pre-drilled the top of the box to basically go through and screw right straight up into the structure here to hold it in place. And then I'll add some additional bracing down below to make sure I get it all secured real good. And like I did over there, I did the one additional bar across, kind of bridging between this steel and then the steel of the box, kind of with screws into the steel here and into the box. So that'll be a strip running across there as well, and then I'll be cutting away and cleaning it up, putting a new finish strip across here. And I've got new fender flares ordered coming in to replace where ours blew off in Moab last year. So I'm going to start off by again disconnecting these batteries for now, and I'll be mounting these two boxes. Out the other spot here for the other 24 by 14 by 12 Buyers box that'll be fitting up underneath here, and I've got to get it all the way up. I'm going to basically be aligning it with this point, so these guys, whoops, where are we, are a little too low here, so I'm going to cut. I marked it, I don't know how you can see that, I've marked it across there, so I'm going to cut that out. And then have the supported up here a bit more, and figure out how I'm gonna exactly secure my new box back here. All right, so got these three boxes mounted. I'm waiting on the new fender flares coming tomorrow, and I'll have to do a little bit of customizing a little bit, kind of in the little corners here where once I see exactly how the new fender flare sits on there, I may have to do a little diamond plate or a little steel of some kind of finish things out nicely. But got these three on. This one here up front is our battery new battery compartment and two big fancy new batteries from Napa for all of $105 each. Yay, huh? Tight fit, but now we've got this additional storage on this side and this nice little smaller box on this side. It's not as deep as the other one, but it's nicely something else for a little bit of storage. And they close up nice and tight and lock there. And basically what I did was, again, I screwed through, I pre-drilled through the top here, and then see there's the steel framing here, so I pre-drilled exactly to line it up, and then used the big self-tapping screws to blast right up into those. And then I'm going to add a few more braces, but see, this way there's room for between the spring on this side and where the other one is deeper on the back over here. And then I've got another one exactly like this to go on the other side. I'm going to have to move it forward or back a little bit because of where it lines up with the gas fill line, but anyway, rolling along. A couple other little details on here. I threw these little pieces, just custom cut a couple of chunks of plywood to go here and here, just to kind of lock the batteries in place here. And these come with a plastic part over the back of the locking mechanism, and this one, when it was closing here, was bumping up against the battery here, so I had to take that out, so now it doesn't touch it at all, and grab and locks nice and snug, closes up properly, and doesn't push the door open, so it'll seal up the way it needs to seal to keep the water out. So yep, yesterday got the other two boxes on this side plus the one back there, and now today the replacement fender flare came in. Yay! So this is what a new one looks like, and where it used to be, I've cleaned it up a little bit here, and basically gonna mount back on like that, and then I'm gonna have to do a little custom infilling here of how to make the transition between this and my boxes on both sides. But I should be able to figure something out without too much trouble on that. Well, here we have it. Wheel well in, and my boxes installed. Got some diamond plate on there to firm it all up and fill in between. And I'm going to put a little trim piece. I'm actually going to decide to go ahead and do more diamond plate going across the back here. And then I'm going to put a little trim piece then on top of all this, and be ready to do some touch-up painting. Well, good morning, folks. I thought I'll take you through the process a little bit more. I've got one more of my undermount boxes to install here on the shuttle bus, and so I thought I'll take a little more detail on how exactly I do this one, where it's going to go, and how I do it. So here we go. Replace this one. As you can see, this one's also cracked and busted, and you know, it's got a big crack up here. So got another one of those coming, just like on the other side, so we'll have some nice new ones. This is all cracked and broken down here. But this is where the last box is going to go. And as you can see here, we've got the fuel intake here. So I'll show you what that looks like underneath. The other box is mounted essentially like right here, like right at the end of here. I'm going to have to obviously slide this one over a little bit, and I'll dig underneath there and show you what's going on underneath. All wide open here. I don't know how well you can see this, but actually the fuel line runs real tight up to the top and then runs over, so I really don't have to worry as much as I thought about where I'm going to mount that one. It's going to go basically right here. These are a little bit tall. I'm going to actually have it so that it mounts to this, there we are, to that space. So what I'm going to do is again, like I did on the other one, I'll be marking exactly from the 12 inches back to how deep it's going to be, and cutting this guy down off here and then up to, so that it's at the same location as this to get it out of the way, and then I can mount the box right to this, and then I'll be attaching through to this support here on the front like I did on the other side. So fender flare just showed up, so hot dang, came really quick. For these this is the Starcraft Starlight. I had to go through I had to look up through a Starcraft bus place specifically to find these, and but basically getting them for just about 225 bucks for the replacement ones. They're plastic like these original ones, but I'm going to be, once I have them fully installed, I'm going to be lining the inside of them on the back with some of that Flex Seal to kind of both, you know, water protect everything, but also just to firm them up a bunch too. So I'll show you how that goes here in the next day or two. This is our buyer's box. Buyers, it's the maker. They're steel, they're good heavy duty steel. They've got locking handles on them, and I'll show you this one. Again, because of the springs and everything, as well as the fact that I don't want something hanging really low back here, I got this size, which is 24 inches across and 12 inches deep, and these are 14 inches tall. So nice kind of, they actually look fairly small, but they hold a surprisingly large amount of stuff. So once I get everything all mounted, we'll be filling everything up with what we have, and we'll see how much we actually can put in there. So here we go. 1.5 inches over from this point over, which is the same as on the other side. And then I'm just using the strip here that came with it as my straight edge, essentially, to put my square on it, and use that to make my mark. And then went over basically just a little over 24 inches, made another mark on that side, and that's what I'll be cutting out. Again, this is fairly thin metal. It's just painted metal that kind of wraps down around the bottom here, and so there's not much to it, but it's a lot of dead space. And if I can find an even smaller long box, I might even be adding one more on here. Who knows? We'll see. I screwed that up. So here's the gas line here. I thought it was going to be a little more room, but it's still sticking down too low here. So I am going to have to do like I originally planned and have it start from about here and go over. I'm doing diamond plate for in between anyway, so unfortunately I kind of hacked up this bit, but I'll just be installing some diamond plate over it, and I'll be reinforcing it all. So I'll kind of have to show that process too, but that's kind of the fun of doing your own stuff. You get to learn from screwing up, and as you figure out what you do as you go. So anywho, so got a new mark over here. Gonna mark it down from here at 24, recut, and cut up a little higher here to get to the height I need, and then I'll be cutting down this bar to make it all fit in between there. So yippee. Back the strut here, or whatever they call this, main joist or whatever. Still got plenty of beef here to support everything. There's the whole main steel structure is always still around, and then the box itself will actually add a little bit once I brace it all in here and firm it all up. So I'm not worried about taking away from the strength of the vehicle itself, or the bed up here. But so basically just cut out the line for where the box is going to go, and then I got this metal out of the way, and as you can see though, this I'm going to attach up into this piece, and then I'm going to attach through the face into this piece. Mounting this is I'm essentially hanging it from the top rather than attaching it somehow to the main frame down here. It's all just going to be hanging at points from the bottom of the vehicle here. I've pre-drilled a couple of holes in the top here that align with the back up here, where I'm going to be able to attach those ones in using these heavy-duty self-tappers like that, and using a nice driver to get those up in there. So I'll use those to get the first two on, and then I've got a pre-cut bar here, like I did on the other side. Basically, it's got holes on both sides, and that's going to mount like this, so it'll go through the steel that's on the back up here, and then also through the face here on the bottom. So basically attaching it all the way across with 8 screws actually all the way through here, and then those, and then I'll add another brace up in the back to make sure I firm it all up real good. So. As you can see, I use this the pre-drilled holes in the bar all the way across. The top screw is going through the steel bracing that's back in behind here, and then the lower screw is going right into the box itself. So this all this is holding the entire weight to the front of the box. And then I put those 2 screws in up there that are going up into the framing, but from here over there's not any in the back. But I mean, this thing is super strong. I mean, just as it is because of the way that we did this. So, but as you can see here, this is the closer on it, and when you close it and turn it, it grabs on. But see, there's some play in there, and these have weather stripping back inside here, and so this part pushes into that weather stripping. But what you can do if there's a little bit of play like this, as you can see, it's still kind of a little bit loose. These are adjustable right here. Just take a wrench, channel lock, or a crescent wrench, and basically you loosen up the inner screw. Oop, that one's already a little loose. Make it a couple cranks this way. While we're seeing this, and you tighten that one up. Okay, once that's tight, you can check it again. Whoop. Put things down so you can see what the hell I'm doing. All right, so now that turns. See, now there's less play. The handle's pulled it in tight against that weather stripping, and so that should help keep it from leaking. I actually think I'm going to go a tiny bit tighter with a key, so you can turn that, lock them up, and the handle won't turn, and they are locked up nice and tight. So put that back in, turn it, and voila, we got a nice box and a nice little bit of additional storage for saving us having to haul things on the back or on the roof or anywhere else, and disperse that weight a little bit throughout the vehicle. All right, so I got the some more stuff pulled out of the way so I can do the diamond plate. I have firmed up both sides of this with some of this L metal. Basically attached that right in to the main framing up here to make it a lot firmer on both sides. Did the same thing over here. Used an existing bracket that was here to firm this all up, and took the cover off for there to paint that up before I put it back on. So got a little more diamond plate, and then put our other wheel well on, and side 2 will be complete. Got the details finished up here now. I picked up just some of the simple carpet bar, kind of a transition bar, and used that for a little top cap piece here. And that. Gonna do a little touch up on the paint here around the fender flare. So I've got another piece here, and then I put a piece of L-shaped aluminum here and the transition at the top of this piece. Added another big chunk going off to the back here. and reused one of the old reflectors that was on there. But got tomorrow we'll be finishing up the other side, but I think it looks pretty darn good. All right, guys, well, we're getting closer to being ready to hit the road and head back south to Arizona and New Mexico this winter. Still here in Reno, just working on finishing up these nice undermount storage bins and some diamond plate, and also, as you can see, we've got the we switched out the solar on the roof for these two that are now awnings and or flexible to be able to set out into the sun wherever we are at. Right now, they again, we took this from RVing with Tito and his really great site with lots of cool ideas. And but basically just some simple half-inch PVC to make a little frame for them, and some suction cups off of Amazon. And you know, you can have removable, easy awnings that also have power for you. So got this side going. I'll show you the other side here real quick. All right, so here's a look at the other side now finished off. All the diamond plates in place. Redid the reflector here. Got the one solo box on this side. Had to move it back a bit because of the gas intake here, and our new Fender flare all on this side as well. And put a nice coat of flat paint on all the rims as well. Looking nice and cool. And then where the air conditioner unit is here, I finished this all out as well. Took off the existing cover and gave that some black paint also. And now trimmed it all out with that same carpet bar like on the other side. And looking spiffy.